I mean, this wasn't a total surprise. I mean, from late April to early July of 2001, you guys at the CIA were picking up worrisome intelligence. And here's just some examples for all of you. On April 19th, there was an analysis titled, Bin Laden Planning Multiple Operations. Other pieces were titled, Bin Laden Attacks May Be Imminent, and Bin Laden Planning High-Profile Attacks. The President saw these months before 9/11. I don't know, remember after 9/11, there was that, we all learned about that famous August 6th PDB, the Presidential Daily Briefing, which has since been declassified, the only presidential...
The first
presidential daily briefing to be declassified. And the title of that, and remember this is just 1 month before 9/11, was titled, Bin Laden Determined to Strike in the U.S. Why wasn't this a hair-on-fire report?
Yeah.
Why wasn't an action-inducing report?
Yeah. Great question. So where did it come from, right? So any time that we showed the President one of those pieces, the titles of which Nora read off, he would always ask, is there any indication that the attack could be here in the homeland? Every time. And George Tenet's answer and my answer to that question was always the same. No, there isn't any indication, but bin Laden would like nothing more than to bring the fight here. So we can't rule it out. So he asked that question over and over again. So one of the many secrets about life in government is that it's not that much different than life anywhere else. People go on vacation in August. And because analysts and collectors go on vacation in August, there's less good stuff to show the President in the PDB. And so you have to plan ahead to have good stuff to show the President. So I was meeting with every office to say, okay, what are you going to write for the President in August? And when I talked to the counterterrorism analyst, I said, he keeps on asking this question. Could we write a piece for him that talks about bin Laden's ambitions to strike us here in the homeland? And so they did, and that's the August 6th PDB. And it simply talks about bin Laden wanting to attack us here, and it talks about the times in the past when he actually tried to do so. Most prominently around the millennium, when there was an attack planned against LAX. And the guy was arrested coming across the border from Canada into Washington State. There was nothing in the piece that said we have any threat reporting that there's an ongoing plot against the United States, and there was nothing in the piece that said, that threat reporting we talked about earlier in the year, we're concerned that might be in the United States.
There was nothing about hijacking airliners?
There was nothing, right? There was nothing that was actionable, and so I, in briefing it, did not treat it as a hair-on-fire, action-inducing piece, and he didn't read it that way either.